and welcome back to the A&M Show, episode 4. We're here back a little later in the week, but made it clear in episode 1 that it's going to be when it happens. We're going to be here, but it's going to happen at some point in time. We're back. Last week we did the AL Central. This week we're coming back with the NL Central. AL Central, I mean, pretty consensus throughout the three of us there. I know me and Mort had the exact same. And I
Of
think
course.
you switched. I think you disagreed with us on, I think, 3 and 4, or you disagreed with us on 1 through 4. But we all had the White Sox in last place. Touch on that real fast. Just traded Dylan Cease. So yeah, I think we all kind of agree that they're probably going to be the worst team in baseball this year.
I still think the A's will be, but I think that the White Sox are like a trade or two away from being right there. I think they'll be separated by like 4 games. The White Sox still have some guys that are supposed to have some kind of talent in Robert and Jimenez. So
for now, I think they lost 10 wins due to their total.
they'll give up 7 runs a game. So the games that they only give up 5, they might give a chance to win.
Yeah. Well, we're to the NL Central now. We got the Reds, Cubs, Pirates, Brewers, Cardinals here. So let's kick it off with Nick. We'll go Nick again. Nick, who do you got coming in 5th place of the NL Central?
Team I got finishing last in the division is the Pittsburgh Pirates. Nothing about their lineup. I don't think they're going to do anything special, really. I mean, I see they got Henry Davis getting full-time at bats this year, though.
Yeah, he's playing catcher, I think, this year fully.
Yeah, I think he can play outfield, too, if they need him to.
They picked up Yasmani Grandal, so he'll probably be a guy that plays catcher for them a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they added Rowdy Tellez. I mean, some power from the left side. Pitching-wise, they got Martin Perez, and really, they got a bunch of young guys in the rotation. And they did get Chapman in the bullpen, but after the video that released of him the other night, I don't know how he's even going to appear on the roster this season. Like, I don't know, man should be canceled for that video. But I do have a prediction for the Pirates. I think Paul Skeens will be called up to the big leagues this year.
What's your timetable for him?
Well, probably like around August.
Okay. So he doesn't burn his rookie year or his.
Yeah, I don't think he'll.
However the stuff works, but
I don't know. Is he starting in Double-A? I don't know.
They didn't really say yet. They just said he's starting in the minors.
So yeah, that's my 5th place team. I don't really have more else to say about them.
All right, Mort, who you got?
Yeah, you go ahead. I'm gonna give you mine at the buzzer.
All right. Well, I got the Brewers. Actually.
Okay.
I just their team. It's kind of odd to me. They made some moves in the offseason. I'm just not sold on their team. They went out and picked up Reese Hoskins, the guy who didn't play all last year, but in the spring has shown some pop. And then really outside of Willie Adames, they just have a young team in the infield. And outside of Yelich, their outfield is very young. Garrett Mitchell, Joey Witmer, Jackson Chirino, Sal Frelick. Like, they're just so young. Obviously, Burns is in Baltimore now. Their rotation's not terrible, but very injury prone. Freddie Peralta spent a lot of time in the IL. Brandon Woodruff spent a lot of time in the IL. They're starting with Devin Williams on the IL. No, he's not a starter, but like that's still you're a premier guy in your back end. He was going to be your closer this year. So I don't know. I think they lost Abbott. I think Andrew Abbott is his name. They lost him to the Reds. He wasn't a
Abbott.
Abbott, yeah.
I think they lost somebody else too. They lost that other left-hander.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like they just lost a lot in the pitching for them. So I have them coming last place. Plus, they lost their manager, so he jumped ship to the Cubs. So I got Brewers coming in 5th place.
So we'll keep it right here because I actually have the Brewers in last place also.
I swear to God,
which is crazy because we're talking about the team that won the division last year, and as you said, Corbin Burns is gone. You said their pitching's not bad. I'm looking at it. The pitching is atrocious. Outside of Freddie Peralta, I don't think he lasts very long there. I don't know what you get out of Yelich anymore, really. But other than that, it's like guys that are just there to be there. No, Devin Williams is gonna at least affect them probably 5 to 7 games early on because he's
Yep.
at least 2 months. They're looking at he might even be 4. So with that, I think they just sell out. Maybe they can trade away Yelich and attempt for something, but his stock is definitely probably at an all-time low at this point. Yeah, but I have the Brewers at last as well.
Also, when you got Haas and Gary Sanchez fighting for your backup catcher,
That is true.
I love it.
It's a
That is true.
wild battle right there.
But and Adames, like he's in trade talks like crazy. They don't want to trade him, but like maybe at some point it becomes where they have to, so that way they can just fully start over.
Yeah, it's an interesting lineup. Like I think it's going to be interesting how the young guys play, but we've seen it in the past. So you can't put a team full of 4 or 5 like damn near rookies out on the field and it be successful. So, Nick, who's your 4th place? I'm assuming you're.
Yeah, I mean, well, continue on that. I got the Brewers in 4th place as well. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're just not the same Brewers. Like, last year they won the division, but now like this team just washed to me. Like Yelich is not the same guy he was a few years ago. I mean, I think Adames probably won't even make it through the trade deadline if they're doing that bad. I mean, pitching, like, yeah, there's no. Do they even have like a pitching prospect to look forward to this season? I don't even see any. Like they need to trade like a couple of these guys and get prospects this season.
Yeah,
they're not winning this year. I mean, they had a good run, but now it's time to rebuild. So yeah, they're 4th place.
All right, I'll go with my 4th place here. I flip flop with you, Nick. I have Pittsburgh. I don't mind their roster. It's just their pitching, and it's always been their pitching for me. That I just feel like their pitching holds them down, and I do think Skeens will get called up this year. I don't know when. I'd say I'm gonna say July or August, but I think he gets pulled up. It's just their pitching is just. I mean, you got Keller, and like you said, you got Martin Perez, but outside of that, you don't really got anybody. But I do like their infield. I like Davis. I like Grandal. I like Tellez. You're gonna get a full year of O'Neal Cruz again. This team has potential to win 75 games, I think. But outside of that, they're pitching. This team would be like 3rd for me if they had 2 quality pitchers. So, or starting pitchers at least. All right, go ahead, Mort.
All right, I'm going to shock the world here. We do not have the same standings. I think the 4th place team is the Cardinals. They were last place in the division as it was last year. You can't tell me they're getting a ton better. They still have Goldschmidt and maybe Arenado, but Arenado is kind of irrelevant in my mind. Other than that, it's looking up and down. It's getting kind of ugly here pretty fast. You talk about pitching. They don't have it either. Lance Lynn, you know what he did last year.
It's just 40 years old.
Gibson came in. Kyle Gibson had like a career year and a half, and now he thinks he's going to anchor down the Cardinals. He's not going to replace Sonny Gray. Steven Matz is I guess, and just outside of that, like Miles Mikolas as your ace. It's not looking too promising for the Cubs' future. I mean, they got there. It allows them to have their young guys getting some at bats, especially down here at the bottom of the order. But I can't see a world where the Cardinals are very good and in a tight and oh no, Sonny Gray Okay,
Yeah, let's say
yeah,
they
never
have
mind.
Sonny Gray. He's hurt. No, that threw me off because I'm like, he just got a big deal with them.
Yeah, my fault. But still, he's not gonna take Sonny Gray's like what he would do if he wasn't hurt. He's not
Yeah.
gonna just give him something manageable. Even then, Sonny Gray's not crazy like good anymore, so it's not like it's a huge deal having him. But yeah, I don't think that they go they don't think they go very far. I think they barely move up in the division because the Brewers are going to be so bad, and they just accept that, and it's a full rebuild for the Cardinals.
All right. Nick, who do you got at your number 3 spot?
Number 3. I'm gonna say it's gonna be I don't know. I guess this might surprise people. I'm gonna say the Chicago Cubs are gonna be third place.
Okay.
I mean, they lineup's the exact same as last season. I mean, they did what they finished a few games over 500 last year. They
Yeah, they were
lost
fighting to the end.
they lost the Stroh show now in the rotation, which could be a big loss. I mean, they did get that what is it, the Japanese guy, what I can't even say. I'm not gonna try and say the man's name right now.
Shout out
Shout out.
Amanaga.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know.
Shota, maybe Shota.
I don't know. I just the Cubs didn't really do enough to me this offseason. I mean, they did re-sign Bellinger, but I don't know. I think Bellinger is not going to have the year he did last season. And then let's see. Yeah, they're like this bullpen just looks cooked to me. Like there's no one in that bullpen. I can just that looks good to get people out like in late game situations. I see him getting a lot of blown saves here.
Mike Leiter Jr. found himself there. Okay.
Yeah,
he's
I mean,
still
I do see Pete Crow Armstrong supposed to get some at bats. I think he's like one of their top prospects.
I will say they invited back Cubs legend Carl Edwards Jr. He's hanging out with them.
Okay.
He's there.
He's just hanging out. I don't know if he's gonna make the team, but he's hanging out. He seems to always make an MLB roster. So
wait, they got Garrett Cooper in the minors. Okay, interesting. But yeah, I got him third place. Just to me, like they didn't do enough to get better, and I think the other teams that have after did make moves to get better. So
yeah. So when I was making my list, my 2 through 4. But those 3 teams were just, I feel like they're interchangeable, and I feel like they're interchangeable every year, no matter who those 3 teams are in this division. My number 3, though, is St. Louis. To build off of what Mort, like what you said, like their pitching is old as dirt. Like you're throwing 3 guys out there or 4 guys out there at least that are 35 plus. Chances that they make it to July or even June without getting at least 2 of them on IL just because of fatigue. I don't see it happening. And then they just got a weird roster build. Like you brought in Brandon Crawford. Let me pull up their team here again. You brought in Brandon Crawford.
yeah, they did get Matt Carpenter back.
Yeah, you got Matt Carpenter. You have Goldschmidt still on that team. And then I thought there was an outfielder. Or no, and then when you look at like their outfield, then like their young guys. So you got 3 old as dirt guys, and then you got Jordan Walker, you got Mason Wynn, you got Nolan Gorman, and now I even forgot you got Arenado. I mean, he's not old; he's 32, but like still,
he's just trash.
I feel like they have old guys or really young guys. There's not really an in between, and it could work. And I think it gets them like close to 80 wins. I think it gets them right at that 500 markish, but I don't think they're even going to come close to second place. I think the NL Central is a little bit, the first and second teams separate themselves this year. So go ahead, Mark.
Okay. Third, I have the Buccos. The Pirates are coming up the division. I think that's where they finished last year. I have it right in front of me. Nope, they were 4th last year.
Okay. I was
Uh,
gonna say.
I think like was mentioned, a full year of healthy O'Neal Cruz. He's been just doing crazy things to baseballs in the spring training. If Brian Hayes is finally able to see the field, he's got to at least show some flashes of what he was supposed to be back in the back in the past. I mean, I know it's not name after name after name, but it's like a team of guys that can just come together, be a little sneaky, put up runs. If you kind of overlook them, they'll go out and beat you because they did that at times last year. They looked good and then they got real bad. I think they got 4th because they just had a bad month, and outside of that, they were playing pretty good. But yeah, O'Neal Cruz being there really lengthens their lineup. If they were able to get like another maybe right-handed power bat in there to go with him, they would have been able to make a lot of noise in the Central. But I think Mitch Keller comes back with a kind of similar year as last year. I mean, he did just get an extension, so he's going to have to be. But I know that the rest of the pitching, the question mark. Chapman's got to come out and save them some games. He can't be horrible, horrible, horrible. But even if he is, like David Bednar, what happened to him?
He's still hanging around. I think. I don't think he's
Nobody
hurt.
knows.
Is he?
Oh, he had lat tightness. So like you still have 2 closers there. And I mean, it's another case of where there's like not household names, but guys that will probably get outs. And as you guys were alluding to Paul Skeens, I think the only way he gets brought up is if they are competitive. And so if they're competitive, I also have him coming up and looking pretty good too this year.
All right, and they got our boy Sergio Alcantara. He's hanging out with them this spring.
Oh, okay.
Jesus.
I think he's actually been weirdly having I swear I saw. Okay, no, he's hitting 240, but okay.
And the Pirates have to come out and they have to put up some numbers after just being awarded the best ballpark in the league.
Yeah.
Petco, I mean not Petco, PNC. Everybody already knew it, but they just got an award for being the best ballpark in the league.
All right.
It's the only reward they're gonna get for a while.
That's all right.
They were rewarded the first overall pick last year.
Yeah.
I mean, sure.
All right, Nick. Who do you got coming in second place?
I'm pretty sure you guys both have this team as your first place, but I got the Cincinnati Reds as my second place.
Okay.
Team. To me, I mean the Reds. I just feel like as of right now, I just feel like they don't have like that veteran bat that in the lineup to help these young guys. They still have a really young lineup. I mean, they're going to be a fun team this year to watch. I mean, a lot of potential. I mean, they got Jamer Candelario. I know you guys love him.
You're gonna go crazy for him.
Yeah, I mean, they got him right now as the cleanup hitter. So I loved watching Ellie De La Cruz last year. He's fun to watch. Man,
and they get a full season of him now. So
yeah, I mean, as long as hopefully he stays healthy. Because I mean, I picked him up fantasy last year. He was fun to keep watching, get him all those points with the stolen bases and all the hits. But I mean, they signed Frankie Montes to be their ace pitcher. I don't know why. Actually, I don't know why they have him as the ace. I feel like Hunter Green's better than him.
Yeah, I mean, and then they still have Odolo too.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like
Lodolo just has injury problems, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Let's see what they got. They got Nick Martinez in the rotation now. Interesting.
Well, I would like to point out they're rolling with the good old fashioned 7-man rotation on here, according to this. We talked about the Tigers
I don't know.
6-man. The never before seen 7-man rotation is what the Reds.
Hey, they're doing that. They're doing that. They're doing that so Hunter and Nick don't get hurt. They're letting them have 7
Green and
days
Nick, Hunter Green and Lodolo's bodies just fall apart. So I mean, throw 7 guys out there and try to help them out.
It's like to me, if the Reds want to win the division, I feel like they got to make a trade like in the middle of the season just to get like a quality like veteran bat to be a voice for that batting lineup, because they're just too young to me right now. I just don't think right now they're ready to win the division, but I still could see them fighting for like a wild card spot for sure, as long as their top guys stay healthy, of course. So yeah, I got that Reds. I got second place.
All right. I got Cubs coming in second. I like this team overall. starting pitching is where it gets weird because you lose Strosho. And obviously the bullpen, that's where I'm just like, who's gonna come in to save you? I think they need to trade for somebody, especially if they're contending at the trade deadline.
Wait, hold on. We got breaking news. The
Okay.
Pittsburgh Pirates have signed Michael Taylor.
Oh yeah, I
did
forgot
see
that
it.
did just
I forgot.
happen
I
right
saw
before
that
this.
earlier today. Yeah.
I just
So
saw that 10 minutes. I mean, I don't. Does that change anyone's predictions?
no.
That's not the right-handed power bat I was speaking of. It's just a
Right-handed power
right-handed
bat.
body.
You're not slotting
you-
him in the third spot, Mort?
I'm not sliding him in the lineup at all. Can't hit a ball.
Okay,
He can't hit a
you can
ball.
continue.
All right. But yeah, I just don't like their bullpen. But their overall roster is good. Just depth for them is what's gonna kill them and why I think they come in second place. I think if you are gonna be a team that contends, you need to go trade for depth in the bullpen and possibly another just bat in the lineup. I just looking at this, nobody jumps off the page, especially in the infield for me. You have Nico Horner, Christopher Morel, like Patrick Wisdom, Dansby Swanson. Those are your four guys right there. Outside of there, I mean, Nick Madrigal, he's gonna be one of your top guys off the bench, probably. Nobody screams like I'm here off the bench for me. So Cubs coming in second.
Yeah, I'm just keeping it right there in Chicago. I got them in second as well. This is a team. It is very heavily on health. You get one or two guys go down, their season plummets. We are speaking of hoping that Bellinger, puts up whatever he did last year. Seiya Suzuki's got to be like relevant.
He's got to be
to help
healthy.
them
I feel like he
out.
wasn't healthy last year.
Yeah, I mean, Talkman and Jan Gomes at the bottom of their lineup needs to be figured out. But this is a team that I could see being like another sneaky one. Justin Steele is very underrated, very good as their ace. And then, like I said, they got Shada in there, and then after it's kind of a little bit of question marks. But like Jordan
Hector
Wicks
Neris.
isn't horrible, but as long as they can get some outs, Kyle Hendricks knows how to pitch. Whether he's going to give up 7 runs a game or not, he knows how to pitch.
Drew Smiley had a weird year last year. He did decent.
Yeah, they have interchangeable guys like Albert Alzolay. They used to always be high on him. He could go back and forth. Hector Neris, I don't know if he was there last year or not, but that's not a terrible. Wasn't he with the Blue Jays last year?
Who?
Hector Neris?
No, he was with I was just looking.
He was on the Astros, I thought.
I was gonna say it was the Astros.
Yeah, he was with Strohs last year.
Okay, and then you just had Drew Smiley consistently just puts up numbers, and Assad's not terrible either in the bullpen.
I saw they want Albert Alzolay. They want him as their closer. That's what I saw.
Yeah, he could be. If you don't have any,
he was the closer last year.
That's interesting.
So
it is a team that, I mean, if you're gonna not have him start, you toss him in the closer. It's a team that's gonna play probably a good portion of close games. But yeah, I mean, like I said, the core, Ian Happ is kind of washed at this point in his career. But if Nico Horner shows up and does something, Seiya Suzuki is anything near what he was hyped up to be. Bellinger repeats, Dansby, like that's not a terrible middle of the order. We know what Chris Romero was last year, just a menace.
And that man was on roids.
Yeah. Or was it the year before or whatever. Whenever he was a menace. I think if they could just grab another bat, like a JD Martinez.
JD would be dirty.
Not have Michael Bush as their DH. Get it like a JD in there or somebody else that's out there. I will say, if we're talking free agents, I am kind of surprised that this Cubs team, they made a splash last year. Where they made a splash, got Dansby. Made a splash, just randomly got Stroman out of thin air. Nobody was like Stroman to the Cubs. The way that they like to make random splashes, I wouldn't be surprised if they just came out of nowhere. They're like, nah, we're the ones that are going to get Snell. Like, he could be a nice little addition.
Or
you put him in the one. You put him as the ace? Well, yeah, I was going to say Montgomery, but I mean, yeah, either one of them could fit because he's already been in the National League Central. But like Snell, he has like an infinite ERA, but you put him in Wrigley, it's a little bit of a bigger park. It could help him out a little bit. you got him as the ace, and it stretches out the rotation a little bit. Moves them around. You get Snell and then Steele and then Shada. Like it's at least 3 guys that you go into a playoff series possibly. That's it's not terrible. It's guys you can rely on to give you some decent innings.
And allows you to work possibly some of those older arms out of the bullpen that you currently are starting, or because you have to, I guess. Like,
but or just adjust it if it's going well, then that's when you make moves.
Yeah. All right, Nick. Which I'm very surprised by this one.
Yeah.
But who do you have coming in first place in the NL Central?
I mean, I know you guys kind of hated on them, but I don't know. I got the Cardinals winning the division this year. Just last season, like I'm talking about their pitching. Like you look at Miles Michaelis had 201 innings pitched, the second most innings, because Montgomery and Flaherty both were traded last year, so I'm not even counting them. So second was Matt's at 105 innings pitched. Now they picked up Sonny Gray, Kyle Gibson, Lance Lynn. I mean, they're going to get more innings out of these guys, hopefully. So they're going to have the rotation's going to be better this year, I think. Then they're batting wise. Jordan Walker's playing another season. I think Arenado and Goldschmidt are going to have bounce back years. Nolan Gorman's going to be a sleeper for them this year, and Lars Nootbaar is an underrated outfielder for them too. That no one's really talking about.
The Japan legend.
Yeah, I'm over the hype around him.
and they got their one of their top prospects playing a shortstop, Mason Wynn, this year.
Yep.
He's supposed to be. Did he even play last year?
I think he did a little.
But I mean, yeah, this year I guess it's gonna be his rookie year. I don't know. I just feel like the Cardinals are gonna have a huge bounce back season. Like I just feel like that's how they are. Like one year they'll be awful, and then another year they're like a top team in the National
He had 122 at bats last year, hit 2 bombs and 12 RBIs. Batted 172.
Okay, well,
granted, that was probably at 20. That was at 20 years old, probably.
I mean, he's probably been able to play.
He's 21 right now.
He got more at bats this spring. He knows he's got a job coming into the season, so I think he's gonna have a.
My man's name is his middle name is Blaze. Mason Blaze Wynn.
He better have blazing speed.
He was born in 2002.
And let's see, did they get anything to their bullpen?
No, because all they need is Helsley.
Well, they did get the Andrew Kittredge.
They still got Galapagos Islands hanging out in there.
Yeah, I mean, Helsley's still throwing like 100 miles per hour. So, I mean, I think it's going to be I think the Cubs, Reds, and Cardinals, I feel like it's going to be a race throughout the year, in my opinion.
I do. Yeah, I think.
I don't think one team is going to win like dominantly. I think it's going to be like a race to like September. That's my prediction.
So my number one is the Reds. The only thing thinking about it is just to your bullpen adding a little bit more. Realistically, you get full season of Ellie. And I like the team overall. I do like what you said, Nick. I think you need to add another piece, a veteran bat, because you got a lot of youth there. What's his face just got suspended. He's going to be out 90 games, I think. But if anything, that helps Jonathan India. That saved him a spot on this team probably. But I think a veteran bat on this lineup and maybe 1 or 2 more bullpen, and this team is solidified number 1 team in this division. I think they're still going to get it because I think Ellie is going to have an amazing year. You're going to get probably 120, 130 games from him compared to his 98 last year. But I think the Reds come in first place.
Yep, I have the Reds at first for a lot of the same reasons. I mean, yeah, we're just gonna, if we're gonna keep highlighting pitching, yeah, I mean, Frankie Montas as your ace isn't a good start, but as we mentioned, Hunter Green and Lodolo still got some talent.
And yeah, that's what I'm confused about with this team is that for some reason, like everywhere I read about the Reds, they're undervaluing those 2 players, and maybe it's because they've dealt with the injuries so early in their career, but.
And it is worth mentioning Williamson. I mean, he's projected a 5 ERA, but he gets some outs. Like he'll have an occasional good game, and you just string 4 of those together along the year,
Yeah.
that could get you first place in this division, because I think they're all going to be close as well. I think they're going to be within 5 games of each other in the top 3. But yeah, you guys said they needing a young or an older vet bat in there. Yeah, it would help, but at the same time, youth for this team could pay dividends. Like they know no better. It's like their run they went on last year. They just were playing baseball and putting up runs and being exciting and thrilling everybody, and became America's team for a second. Like they don't know any better. So if they have a vet in there, it's like trying to steer them a certain way. It could mess up the vibes that they were riding on. But so they just out there free will going crazy playing Reds baseball. I think they could be fun to watch again, and they should win this division.
I think a vet when it comes to playoff time. Like,
I mean,
Yeah,
low
but at the
key,
same time, you
low
just
key
ride
JD
what
Martinez this
I was gonna
time.
say JD too, but like I don't know how he would fit in the DH spot here.
yeah,
Because like
they got too many
India, like
guys there
I don't know
already.
why they have India occupying
I
it,
don't know.
but
Did they just re-sign India?
no, he's got like 2 years left.
Yeah, he still had some years left.
You trade him.
That's
Well, like-
they can't now because is it Marte? Whoever their shortstop was gonna be got the suspension for the PEDs. So
Well, like even outside of it, all right, 'cause you brought up Candelario.
They still got the mailman as their backup catcher.
He's been around the block a time or two, and I don't know. I think if it came playoff time, they'd just ride the streak that they rode in the regular season. There's just no better. Just keep playing the way that they've been.
now I'm not hating on them a lot because I have them finishing first, but I still think a piece or two it solidifies it. NL Central.
Absolutely.
NL Central, it always feels like it's an open division, no matter who's playing in it. One of the 4 teams outside of Pittsburgh has had a chance to win it every year for the past like 5 years at least.
Yeah.
So, but yep, that's our NL Central. Next week, probably earlier, we're gonna try to come with we're gonna bump to the NL West instead of the AL West first because San Diego and LA play over in South Korea on Wednesday. So we're going to try to get that video out just so our NL West rankings are out. Plus, I mean,
I don't know.
I would say that division has made some moves that over time since we've started doing our rankings, they've made more of the moves out of a lot of the other divisions. Plus, I mean, the AL West has too, or possibly maybe making some moves with Blake Snell, rumored going down to Houston. So we'll have to see. Final rankings though, I had the Brewers coming in last, Pittsburgh 4th, Cardinals 3rd, Cubs 2nd, Reds 1st. Nick, who'd you have?
I had Cardinals 1st, Reds 2nd, Cubs 3rd, Brewers 4th, Pirates 5th.
And Mort?
Brewers last, Cardinals 4th, Pirates 3rd, Cubs 2nd, Reds 1st.
All right. Well, there it is. We'll be back next video talking the NL West. Have a great rest of your day.